Hi, hello. This is an impromptu live that's going to be happening, hopefully every single day. And I say hopefully because this live is an experiment and a challenge that I got from my coach with regards to me wanting to speak about my challenges whilst I am in them. And the challenge is, or speak about my issues slash problems whilst I'm in them. And to help me with that, the challenge from my coach is to spend 20 minutes daily trying to sketch an insight that I got that day that's related to whatever I am thinking inside my own mind. So that's going to be fun, hence why I'm here. And why you see one screen with me and then the other screen with the paper, because I'll try to demystify the messy middle, the black box of thoughts, or how I like to call it, um, through my mind and onto the paper. And we'll see if I can do this in 20 minutes. And we'll see if this helps me for starters. I'm just streaming it because I like to spice things up, make them fun. Like if I'm anyways speaking to myself, then I can just speak in front of the camera as well. And for starters, I would like to try to explain to you my thoughts behind the black box and the thoughts that come in that are problematic or challenging or manifest as issues or whatever. Because the thing is, if we have a starting point, and I hope this will show okay, and you can see Lenny in the background eating something from the bed, God knows, okay. I'll move my screen a bit towards to here. Okay, because usually we have a starting point, right, and an ending point of where we were, the point A, and we encountered the problem. So like the problem is now live here. And by point B, where we solved where the problem is solved, there is never a straight line. We already know that. The line is more looking like it seems straight in the beginning, but then it's like all the way there. But even worse, what happens, and I should get a marker or something for this to illustrate it even better. What happens is, let's imagine this is a black marker, and this is all completely filled, completely black, not blue, but black. And we never openly talk about it. So from the outside, we can see what happens. It just seems like a straight line because people don't get all of this that's happening here because we don't share that enough. And I get why we don't want to share. I should mute this thingy. I get why people don't share because it's really vulnerable to be sharing from the place of the messy middle. But I think that it's a cyclical issue. Like if we think bear with me. We don't share because it feels very vulnerable, right? But if we ask ourselves, why does it feel vulnerable? It's because we don't share. Because when we're sitting here, and this is how I often feel, like a little stick man, Franca, is sitting in the black box. Oops, I'm here, right? Like in this part here. And it's a black box. Imagine it like just like it's pitch black. It's inside, it's a vacuum. There's nothing, literally nothing. So you can't hear or see anything from the inside. And you also can't navigate because it's pitch black and you have no concept of where the boundaries are. Like we just keep, like running around. And that's why the process gets as messy as it does in real life, because we get stuck in the messy middle. I'll messy middle. I like how that sounds. Even like it's not a nice place, but it sounds nice. We get stuck in the messy middle because for the almost the sole reason. This is my hypothesis, of course, because we don't talk about what we are going through here to the outside. Because I think that if we start speaking about it throughout the entire journey from point A to point B, this part then, so if we talk, this part then becomes demystified, right? It becomes clearer, it becomes softer, lighter. We don't feel as isolated or as alone. And as a result, we don't have a line that looks like this anymore, but it's not the same process, just without the black box. Actually, the process, like this is not then the reality. The reality is being where we have point A and point B, and we start talking with people and hearing their opinions or asking for advice and asking for help, then it much more resembles something that's just like this, almost a straight line, because it will never be a straight line. But it's a straight line where it's a straighter line where we just share whatever was happening here and basically have, as a result, something that's simpler, lighter, more understandable for everyone. And as a consequence, I feel two things happen. So you can see that in the first example, when we don't speak about whatever it is that is bothering us and whatever the way we are trying to solve it, we are isolated and alone and literally caved off from the rest of the world. Whereas, if we start trying to articulate our thoughts and opinions, as I'm trying now and feeling very cringe that I'm doing this, but I'm doing it, is because then it becomes transparent. So now people can actually see me walking or running or falling or jogging or whatever it is through my challenge and through my issue. And what then that allows is for other people to see, oh, look at what she's doing. I feel the same way. And it helps me seeing her going through the same thing, because now I feel less alone. I thought I was the only one going through that, but now I see I'm not. And at the same time, uh, it goes like, if it goes a step below, it also goes a step ahead in the way of, oh, I have been through that. I know what she's going through. Let me reach out and support her or help her if she needs or wants my help. So with this kind of approach, that's why it's less tangled than whatever happens in the black box, is because people are now able to see what you're going through, what you're thinking. Then you can continue to think and talk what you're thinking with them, as opposed to being in your own cave thinking how you're feeling very lonely and isolated in whatever it is you're going through, just because we don't have the habit and the routine to talk about it. And this is basically, and I hope you can see it at least a bit clearly, why from now on I will do my best to try and do this. And my intention from that is to, my intention is always the same with the podcast, with the stories on the platform, on the website. My intention always remains the same, which is I want for people to realize they are not alone in their experiences, for once, or for starters. And as a second thing, I want for people to know that their experiences are normal. The fact that we don't talk about our experiences is what makes us think they are not normal, because at some point we started equating that something is normal if it is frequent. We started equating that something is normal if it is frequent. And because we don't frequently talk about our challenges, our issues, our deep thoughts, or our dark thoughts, somewhere along the way, the line blurred, and then it became non-existent. And then it was, just like a big black box in which you disappear, because that's what happens. And I feel that my way of contributing to that intention and to that goal is speaking more openly from the messy middle. And God knows, I have so many things to talk about and to speak about. And even though I always say I'm an open book, and a friend of mine recently asked me, well, how deep are you willing to go? And I said, as deep as I know myself, which is true. It's still weird for me to show up in this way because me being open has almost nothing to do with me. It's not what I make out of it, it's completely up to you and what you make out of it. Okay? 100%. So that brings my mind into a constant stream of questioning whether whatever I'm doing here is going to be of value to anyone listening or watching. Because the ball is in your court, right? At the same time, it takes a lot of pressure and responsibility from me because technically I have no expectations and I'm doing this for myself because it's easier for me to process my thoughts and to start explaining them and articulating them instead of cooking them in my mind constantly and never letting them out. That's the idea behind all of this. And it was just my wish to broadcast this to the world as I'm going through all of it because I believe it's going to bring some value to some of you. And as I spoke today with Jazz, and you'll be able to hear that conversation on Tuesday, she said, which I completely agree with, if I get to one person, if I change the day of just one person, I'm happy. And I feel the same way. So whoever wants to listen, I know will listen. Who doesn't want to listen doesn't need to listen. That's completely okay. I will just be showing up here every day, depending on whenever my brain starts firing. I'll tackle a topic that has been keeping me awake that day, which for today and technically yesterday as well was this black box. Because I think this is something that can be easily implemented. By easy, I don't mean it is not difficult, or rather, it is not hard to show up and do it, but it is easy. You just show up and do it. It's a conundrum, I feel like. But yeah, anyways, my insight that I sketched for today, obviously, oops, sorry for shaking the laptop screen, is that I am done. I'm completely done with hiding, basically, inside this black box. I am done with feeling isolated and lonely in what I'm going through. And I'm committing to being so, so open and transparent and honest and vulnerable here in order to achieve this. And with the intention of it helping you now, today, tomorrow, in a year's time, I don't know. But that's the goal. So catch me when you can. I will be uploading these videos later on our YouTube channel, so you can search for Unsetting Expectations on YouTube and then re-watch these if you're interested in them. But I hope this was fun to listen to. And I'll see you tomorrow.